Back by popular demand is your favorite TD duo. It's Stephen and Kaz here. We have come to bring you another How to Invest in Under. As you can see, it's a slightly bit more than our 35K, but we've been asked by our clients right now who are looking at Manchester in particular, could you give us a How to Invest in Under 80K? Kaz.
Sure, well actually we've had a lot of people looking outside of London now. London's had a lot of growth, and Manchester being one of the key areas now that fits within this sort of number. So that's why we're looking into Manchester. So firstly, the development that we're looking at today is called Vision. So Vision is right in the city centre of Manchester in the M1 postcode. We've actually been to a previous site.
Yep, Axis Tower?
It was Oxygen.
Oxygen and Axis Tower, yeah.
Oxygen and Axis, yeah. And then extreme, very premium developer. They've got, the gym, swimming pool, was it cinema room?
Cinema room. I think they had like I don't want to call it a party room, but a room you could just entertain for exactly. The tenants on site.
Exactly, so it's a really luxurious development. It's really good for young professionals, people like that. So Vision's right near the Deansgate area.
Yeah.
And we're looking at investor price here, so for a 1-bedroom apartment of 266,165. So that's an early investor price. So the list price is, I think it's around 280.
About 280, yes, for the
280,000. So we've got a little bit of a discount there, being off plan. Speaking on the off plan side of things, actually, so this is one of our longer term projects. It's really for our clients that want to get in to the city centre of a hugely growing area. Yep. I think Manchester grew by just over 8% last year, expected to grow 30% over the next 5 years. And that's just Manchester itself. The city centre is one of the key areas. So it's a 3-year project. Getting in there early. So do you want to run through the breakdown of it?
Happily take you through the top bit. So as Kaz mentioned over here, the early investor price is 266. And in terms of the apartment price, so we put the apartment price, or the developer has, at 280. I would urge you, jump on Rightmove right now, look at properties that are of the same ilk, these blue chip premium properties, and they're going for well over the amount of what we're going to see here, 266, and only picture what's going to happen over the next 3 years in terms of capital growth, where that price point is going to be. We are going to get to that later, but it's a good thing to keep privy. Looking here, so first of all, what do we do? How do we take this apartment off the market? If you're happy, you've had a consultation, myself, Kaz, one of the rest of the team, you would say, Stephen, I'm happy to go. We send you over a DocuSign reservation form. This is all done online, doing our part for the planet, saving paper and what have you. This will take the apartment off the market for essentially 48 hours. When it is officially yours is when you send over your reservation fee of £5,000. So that will take it off the market. From then on air, we go through your exchange process. This tends to take roughly about 28 days. The reason why, I know you're saying 28 days for an exchange. This is a streamlined process, and how we're able to do that is we have panel solicitors that we recommend that tend to see the majority of clients here. So I've seen the contract X amount of times.
Yeah, well, also on that note as well, we've got one of the unique parts about Thelma Deakins, we've got an entire team dedicated to this process. So Sandy and Grace being our key guys there, will be working alongside you to make sure everything's running smoothly. Any questions or queries you've got, we can cover them alongside ourselves as well.
Exactly that. It does very much take a village. So we're looking for this exchange. So after this 28-day period, once your solicitors and the developer solicitors have negotiated, and again, as Kaz nicely put, we do assist you with the process, you will pay your deposit. Your deposit is going to be less your res fee. So the res fee isn't an extra charge, it is included in the deposit. So what that would be is 25% of the purchase price over here, £61,541. Essentially now, apart from legal fees here, I haven't put them in, but legal fees, you're up at about 1,500, depending again on what solicitor that we choose to use. After that, you do not see any costing for roughly about the term of the construction period.
About 3 years.
Yeah, about 3 years with this particular property. We give you regular construction updates. Again, we're here to liaise with you at any time. At that point, when we're coming to completion, we'll prompt you to take a mortgage. We'll help you find a mortgage broker as well. At that point, the government puts their hands in your pockets, unfortunately, as they do with all of us, and they take out a bit of your money, and that is stamp duty. Aside from that, that is pretty much your total costing, and that's how we get our lovely number of 79,353 right under our 80K investment. Now to get to the exciting part, what do you earn and how do you make your money? Kaz, would you like to take over?
Sure. So firstly, what we'll do is we'll run through the cash flow, so your sort of annual cash flow, and then what we'll do is we'll look at the longer term forecast. You know, we see this as a long term investment, so this for me personally is probably the key number here. But looking at it annually, so we're looking at a gross rent of just under 20,000, so 19,962. That's based upon a 7.5% yield. The developments that they're already completed with this developer are achieving about that amount, right?
Yeah,
about the 7.5% yield. So we're expecting at least this. However, this isn't even really considering the growth that we're getting in rent over the next 3 years. Last year, well, up to the last 12 months, managed to grow, I think it was over 20%.
Huge amount,
rent grew, yeah, which is crazy. I think it's record breaking actually. So, you know, even if we're increasing at that sort of amount, it'll be well above the that figure. But keeping it there, we're looking at £19,962. We then unfortunately do have some costs included that we do have to pay. So we've got our service charge, which is based on a price per square foot. We've got our management charge as well. I think ground rent's actually, it's now peppercorn. Right?
Yes, exactly, with the new legislation.
Yeah. So it's essentially, it's £1, I think, what it is. Yeah. So not too bad. And then we've got our mortgage cost as well. So we're looking at 75%, an LTV of 3.2%, which I think is fairly conservative. I've just personally purchased a property recently and I got around that, but interest rates have been increasing recently quite a lot. But we're hoping within the next 3 years for that to settle down a bit and hopefully be quite well below that. With that rate, we're looking at these two costs of £2,765 and £6,387, which means that your total annual gains is this minus these two, which is £10,541, or monthly, that equates to £878.49, which is a return on your investment of 13.28%, which I say for anyone, that's pretty good returns, right?
It's massive. Massive. Sure. It's massive, but it's safe. If we look at other asset classes right now, we look at crypto, we look at shares, both of us have a good amount of money in both.
It's been about minus 13.6%.
Yeah, exactly.
So
a lot of fluctuations. What we have here is a tangible asset, is a safe asset, is an asset class with constant demand. So when you're getting those levels of return, if you're like us and you're a savvy investor, that is going to make your eyes absolutely light up. Now to the probably most exciting part here. What happens if I was to hold this property for 10 years?
Sure.
And Kaz mentioned earlier that we or Manchester saw up to about 8.1% growth. If you can see, and in line with the rest of the breakdown, we've been very conservative and only put growth at 4%.
So literally half of what it achieved last year.
Literally.
And with demand continuing to rise and supply being extremely low, we'd expect it to, be at least 8%. So at half that amount, go on, carry on.
If you was to hold this property for 10 years, factor in no rental growth at all, factor in your higher amount here of a 3.2 rental, what you would see is a rental accumulation of 105k. Your new sales value over here from 266 over to 414. And that's an annual, or not an annual, sorry, it would be nice if it's an annual. So total cash gain here of just shy of £250,000. What a nice number, of £241,167. That's an annualized ROI, and I'll let Kaz explain this, of 30.39%. What a number.
Sure, yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think you can achieve 30%. And that is using, what's interesting about that is really, really conservative numbers, not using any rental growth when rental growth was over 20% last year is, I think, maybe even too conservative, but Stephen likes to be conservative. But yeah, I mean, what this really means is it's essentially in 10 years time, if you had 4% growth per year, and you accumulated this amount of rent and then sold the property, paid off your mortgage, this is what you'd be left with, so that would be about 303%. If you annualize that over 10 years, you've got your 39%, which is pretty crazy. And you know what that also does show is the advantages of property investing, the ability to be able to leverage and achieve growth and cash flow on that high asset value.
So as a whole, as you've seen with this, we've tried to be conservative, but what we like to do is somewhat under promise, but massively over deliver. I won't say over deliver, but deliver more than what we've said to have been the numbers here. Guys, we have absolute experts across the world, not only in our London office, over in Dubai as well. We sell property between both. Get in touch. Please do find out more. We've got dedicated consultants. Honestly, Kaz will tell you, we work 25/8. We're available at any point and we're here to answer any question you have. There isn't a silly one. Please do get in contact. We look forward to your call.
Yeah, another thing as well is that this is one prime example of something we think works really well for a long-term investor, but we're independent. We have access to the whole market and we will always tailor our recommendations to your situation. So at the very least, we can have a chat and see whether we can help.